Welcome to the Revere Veterans Corner. Today we have a real special guest from the Revere Advocate. His name is Jim Mitchell. Mr. Mitchell is president and publisher. Last year, on the 150th anniversary of the Civil War at the Romney Marsh Burial Ground, Jim is the one that brought it into the city of Revere. And so, Jim, please take it away.
Okay.
About the Romney Marsh. Please do.
Thank you, Morris. A couple of years ago, the mayor, Ed Brasino at the time, and Nick Boer at the Veteran Services allowed me to produce, in honor of the sesquicentennial of the Civil War, an event at the Romney Marsh Burial Grounds where we honored the 13, I believe, Civil War dead that have been interred there since those terrible years. And we brought in some reenactors from the local Massachusetts group, and we had a great ceremony that coincided with Superintendent Dakin and Assistant Superintendent Jonathan Mitchell. Brought in a group of students to do a reading, and it was a beautiful production on an incredible day. And we were recognized by the Civil War Trust in Washington, D.C. as the only city to actually put together an event like that. And we were given a proclamation by the State House, and it was also sent over by Washington, D.C. for the Civil War sesquicentennial 150th anniversary. So it brought a lot of light to, positive light to the city in terms of honoring its war dead and its veterans. Hence the great things that the city does, like under Nick Boer and yourself, for raising awareness and for helping the veterans.
We've got people like Lenny Piazza, Al Terminello, Ira Novoselsky. They all help us with the Veterans Corner.
Right, right.
Jim, I would like to ask you another question. I have a copy here of the Revere Advocate. Right there, Revere Advocate. I noticed on one of your pages here, if you can open it up for me.
Oh, sure. It's towards the...
Yeah, it's the one that I was very much interested when I was reading it.
And we put it before, let you know, we put it before the movie section, so you know it's good.
Right.
And right here we have the Veterans section.
Now on this paper here, we have what is known as the Veterans Corner. We would like you to do, if possible, Jim, to put it in as the Revere Veterans Corner like our show. We have a list of all the functions that go on in the city of Revere. Would it be possible for you to list them by the dates as they come on, and then naturally, once they're done, they're out, and the new ones get added on?
Absolutely.
Would you want to elaborate? Because I know it goes out to Everett, Malden, and Saugus as well with their veteran corners.
Exactly.
So that would be 4 of them.
Sure.
So would you elaborate on that, please?
Yeah, we have two writers, two veterans, one being George Desiderio from Everett, and also Chet Paris from Malden. And the articles are so informative to the veterans because generally you always find out that a lot of veterans are unaware of the benefits that are available in the care.
Like myself.
Exactly, and it's, you know, it spans so many generations. So, you know, the information that's out there, it's nice that we can dedicate a space to, and we have 2 right now that have dedicated that to us, Judge Desiderio being the longest, he's from Everett, and Chet Paris, a Korean War vet, is coming along. But George Desiderio is the Director of Veteran Services for the city of Everett. So he's you know, very well informed in those matters for the Everett veterans. Mr. Paris is, his information basically will span on a variety of topics that will you know, supply as much information as we possibly can, and it's just all part of what we like to offer in the Advocate to, you know, to so many different age groups, demographics, generations, what have you, and we're proud to present that, and we'd be more than happy to get together with the director Nick Boer and everyone else, and provide that space, dedicate that space for Revere specifically. So.
That would be nice. So all they have to do is email you the dates and the functions that they have, and that would go into the
Absolutely,
Revere
sure.
Advocate. That would be terrific. By the way, Jim, I got to say this. As I look at the Advocate, there's a beautiful article ironically, which I was going to speak on as well, The Wall That Heals.
Thank you.
Since you wrote the article, I thought you would
Okay, I'll
do
clarify.
it for us.
Well, one of my Revere staff writer, Aaron Keebo, wrote this article, and he's been in touch with Nick since the beginning, since the announcement that the Wall That Heals would be coming to Revere, and it's it's an incredible tribute.
Give them the dates that the wall would be coming.
Yeah, the Wall That Heals. It's the replica of the wall, the one in Washington D.C. for the Vietnam veterans, and you're giving me a script here. I like this, Morris. No cue cards. And it's scheduled to be on display at the Beachmont VFW on Bennington Street from June 13th to the 16th of this year. And but the key thing is that we're in need of donations. That the committee is in need of donations. So they're asking people for whatever they can. I know it's trying times, and but this is something that it means so much to so many people to see something like this, that because it is truly the wall that heals.
Right, I understand it's going to be, like you said, June 13th through the 16th. It's going to be 24 hours a day.
Right.
People donate, and they make their check out to the Wall That Heals.
The Wall That Heals.
And they'll mail it to the Revere Veterans Service at 249 Rear Broadway.
Correct. Unless I have to turn the page here. Should I turn the
Go right ahead, Jim. I mean,
well,
it's
no,
a
you know,
beautiful
this is your show. You're the host, you know. You're the
It's a beautiful article that you wrote on
Well,
there.
we have to thank Aaron for that, and we'd like to stay on top of this as much as we can when we know that something this important is coming to the city. We consider it front page news.
Right. You know, besides money, they're going to need volunteers. A lot of people that are going to have to be there to help them.
Yeah.
From what I understand, the wall is going to be 250 feet long.
Correct.
That's
yeah.
what they said.
Right, 250 feet,
long.
aluminum coated
Right.
wall. And,
So they're going to need people out there to guide the ones that come in, to look up the names, and they'll be coming around from all the community in town. So
Right.
I also understand that you, besides the ones that send in the money, like Bruce Dobson from the Vietnam Veterans, and I believe there was another one in here that sent us $200 or $500. The Beachmont VFW is self-donated $500.
Okay.
I believe you yourself are going to be sending a check with.
Right, we're going to donate $100, of course, right off the bat. We've
Thank
already
you.
said
Thank you.
that, yeah, we committed to that, and you know, I was going to do the big giant check, but you can't get those printed up in time because I just found out that exactly what we were going to do. But
Oh, no.
I'm kidding on that part.
I know
but
that.
We're looking forward to supporting that in any way possible, and of course, finances. Monetarily, it's the most important thing, and
Exactly.
and we're sure, and I know there's going to be so many Revere businesses that are going to jump on board and show their financial support.
That would be good. And you know, the thing is, that's not only, they got the Columbus Day Parade, they got the Wall That Heals,
Right.
they got the Women's World War II, Women's Veterans, Revere Women's Veterans World War II Memorial.
Correct.
They're all going to need funds. So
Yeah.
any help that we can get out there
Sure.
would be a great pleasure to have them. Now, would you tell me how you first got involved in being the publisher and president of the newspaper?
Oh boy, that's
your education. Elaborate.
Well,
on that.
it all started back. Probably the first time I ever was involved with a newspaper in my life. My dad worked for a publication called the Chelsea Record, where I grew up in Chelsea, and he started selling advertising, working for that publication when he was 17. So we're really going back a bit. And he would take me every weekend when he had extra work. He was in advertising, in the advertising account executive. So I'd go over, and I just loved the newsprint and the pictures and everything that had to do with it. And out of my other siblings, I think I was always enjoyed it so much. So by the time I graduated high school in '79, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I was drawn into so many different directions, and in art and music and what have you. So I kind of went the route of a community college at Bunker Hill, where they had a third rail newspaper, it was called, in a publication. And they used to do it, put the production over at the East Boston Times. But I love the investigative journalism side to it. I got to interview the president of Bunker Hill and kind of surprised him when I asked him the question is, why is the parking lot look like the surface of the moon? So it kind of opened up a can of worms for him, and he took it in stride, of course, and I just got the story, and it became, suddenly we turned it into a little sensationalism, and it was a lot of fun, And it surprised, and it created a lot of more involvement in that. But I also liked radio. I loved music, so I was involved in the radio station, which broadcasted over 2 lounges. So I lasted there a year, and then I went to Suffolk University for journalism. And then I had a cross-registration a little bit with Emerson for film, and which I love very, very much. But kept my horizons open, and just somehow always stayed within the frame of music. I worked in an old club years ago called the Channel Club, where I was involved with security to sound and lights and production, and kind of stayed within that time frame, and did a little bit of writing for some of the local music publications and in the local music scene.
You know,
Yeah.
I love music myself, but I'd like to ask you a
I
couple
know
of
you
questions.
do. You're a DJ.
No,
Extraordinaire.
well, no. You've got terrific DJs out here in the city of Revere. You got Al
Right.
LaBella, you got Stevie Ray Vaughan. They are excellent. I mean, they
Stevie
come
Ray.
in and do for the Beach One VFW. Stevie comes in and does the things for the Casa Lucia, for the veterans. So Memorial Day at the American Legion. What I would like to ask you, how many years have you been in the newspaper publishing business to begin with?
Since I would say since '95, since
95, that's
when I
18
started
years.
the Advocate Newspapers Inc. My father had the Chelsea Advocate, which was just the Chelsea Advocate. It was called Suffolk County Publications, and then when I went into it, basically both feet in, full speed, I bought my father out, more or less, and just started the Revere, and then Everett, then Malden, then Saugus, under the Advocate Newspapers, which I currently own and have been publishing.
That's quite a long time.
So,
Now
yeah.
I got to ask you, those 18 years that you were the publisher, what is your best story that you ever had to write? I know they're all good stories, but I mean, did you ever meet a story where you had almost a problem with it, like physical?
You know, it's hard. You know, you might get phone calls from people, but generally if you're writing any story that criticizes, I mean, all politics is local, as Tip O'Neill once said, and it truly is when you publish a local newspaper, and generally the main thing that I've been up City Hall in Revere, that was always my beat, basically close to about 15 years sitting right in that same table. I used to sit with Mr. Procopio, who used to be with the Journal, and Laurel
yes.
Sweet, and Rich DeMarco, and I've seen them all come and go, and they've moved on. And of course, being self-employed, I was still there. Unfortunately, 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, I hired Mr. Kibo, and he's been doing a great job. But I've never really seen anything as far as in respect to Revere, but I would say in Everett, there's been certain, there's always somebody that kind of comes within your crosshairs, and it's never really, as a public person, you have to expect that when you're a politician. Sometimes they don't take it too well, but I can't really, it's funny, I can't really say per se if I've ever been that close to it, because really, we see these people. I don't believe in just, I'm going to come up to you and ask you the question, or I'm going to call you on the, and give you an opportunity to state your case and get the story. But it's I can't. It's funny you asked that question, and I think, to me, I always love photography just as much as I love writing, and I think pictures always worth, as they say, is worth 1,000 words. So I think I look at it through the eye of a camera lens, and I can tell you so many pictures that I've taken that have come back to haunt me, not of myself, but of other people that have said, "Oh my God, I can't believe you put that on the paper," and I really think that we don't really try to go out and upset anybody. I mean,
Let me tell you, Jim, truth is stranger than fiction. I was working the polls, during election time, the last election. And 2 gentlemen came in, and they were speaking with a foreign accent, so they didn't really understand too much.
Right.
And I explained to them that they can have a ballot, either the Republican, Democrat, or Green Party, or the Rainbow. Anyway, they're looking at the names. One gentleman says, "I'm not voting for him because I don't know him." And his buddy says, "I'm with you, only because I do know him." So I thought, when this was political, it would be a good joke to get in there.
Right, yeah. Well, you've seen so many elections where they're holding signs. Generally it's the supporters you know, that I think create most of the, you might see the tension. I mean, I grew up in politics. My father was a former mayor of Chelsea in '84, '85.
Oh,
so
I didn't know that.
yeah, 16 years. I knew every single mailbox and door in the city of Chelsea, every stairway, and proudly my father and I, you know, when you're a kid, in the summertime, all you want to do is run out and go play ball and hang with your friends and have a great time. As a child, I usually spent it standing on the Everett Street on-ramp to the Tobin Bridge.
Yep, I know what that is.
Taking in all the bus exhausts, as my father would be waving, I'd be waving, holding the sign, as the bus would go up and all the traffic that would go up, and that was like July. So you know that the primary was months away, but that's where you were spending it, and then you'd go do the inserts in the mailboxes, and it was just, you know, I was always involved in politically, in politics, and love it.
Jim, I got to ask you a question, if I may, sir.
Sure.
This is from the senior center where I go to. I understand there's the Market Basket, which is also in
Chelsea.
Yeah.
Supermarket
There's another one coming to Revere.
Right.
Do you know anything when it's supposed to be ready? Because they've asked me, and I said, I have no idea.
Well, you know, construction nowadays, commercial especially, goes up pretty fast. The box stores. I mean, it looks like they're set to go. Generally, anyone from community development, whether it's Mr. Fester or
I was thinking of
Mr. Stringy,
Yep.
you give them a call and say, when's the date? So, I mean, we all know that's going there. As far as we're concerned, the development behind Northgate, thank God, has really come to a positive place. But I think really, you know, Market Basket's kind of really taken over. They're popping up everywhere.
I know that, especially in Chelsea out there.
Well, you know,
is it Everett or in Chelsea?
It's in Chelsea. Yeah, there's one in Chelsea, and I never had a problem going to the one in Chelsea. As big as they say, it's just too big. But you know, I also go to my McKinnon's. Local McKinnon's in Everett and Danvers, and love those stores as well too, because there's only certain things you can buy at certain places.
That's good, Jim. You know, I got a couple of more questions up here. This is, which I hope you eventually do put it in. On May the 19th, at the Matola Post, that falls on a Sunday at 12:30, May 19th, they're going to retire the flags.
Right.
If you can write that article. Yes, Jim, I would like to ask you, you know, on May the 19th, the veterans are going to have the retirement of the flag Sunday at 12:30 at the Matola Post. So people will be bringing in their shredded flags or their torn flags or dirty flags. You could put that in your advocate too.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely, under the Revere Veterans Corner. Also, on May 27th, we have the Memorial Day at the American Legion, and I'm sure you would like to speak a little on that if you would like to.
Right. Yeah, the Memorial Day services.
Right, that would be on a Sunday, May 27th.
On May 27th.
No, that's on a Monday.
On a Monday, always, right. Yeah, on the holiday.
Right.
Yeah, it makes for a nice holiday, but you know, it's nice to see people when they show up on the lawn and for the services, and it's a great thing. I've covered so many of them over the years, taken pictures, and there's always been there's really some great guest speakers. I'm wondering if they've announced the guest speaker for that.
No, Nick said he was looking forward to being one, but as soon as he gets one, I'll make sure he notifies you to put it in your paper.
Absolutely,
as well as the other papers in the city are there.
They always send out the press release for that.
Okay, you read about the wall that heals. You did a nice job. Thank you for that. Then we have the Columbus Day Parade, which is on Monday, October the 14th.
Return of a great tradition. Where I'll tell you, it's long. It's been missed in the city. You know, something like that. It's always wonderful to see when the city gets together and creates keeps a tradition going that's been that, you know, unfortunately had to be pushed aside, because not so much pushed aside, but because of the money. It was hard, but you know, now there's a great committee formed and led by the mayor and everyone, and hopefully we'll see the return this year, and it's exciting to think about that, all the great things that are going on in the city right now. To see something like the Columbus Day Parade, to see Christopher Columbus finally leading the procession of city councilors, and
I don't know why you're looking at me. I'm not that old.
Well, come on, I mean, you look just like him, Morris. I'm telling you. Anyway, we're very looking forward to it, and we hope that you know, people keep in mind too that it's funded by you know, the residents and the local businesses. So I know it's a lot right now. People are to ask for money in this times, but the president says everything's looking up. So I'm sure we'll all have a lot of money to spend, especially in Massachusetts.
Here's another one that I get asked for. The Revere Senior Center, 25 Winthrop Avenue, Revere, is looking for yarn for blankets to make for the troops overseas. So any of you people, if you have any yarn out there that you wish to donate, drop it off to Lois Diamond, 25 Winthrop Avenue, Revere, and we'll be making blankets for the boys overseas as well as the soldiers home in Chelsea.
Gets cold at night in the Middle East, and we still got some fighting men and women over in Afghanistan, and that's always a great thing that the Lois and the women do.
Lois Diamond does a fantastic job.
Incredible job.
I've known that young lady for almost, well, I don't want to mention the age, but for quite a few years.
Right.
This comes from the Revere Veteran Service itself. They are looking for white socks for the troops.
Not the team.
No, not the baseball team. That would be the Chicago White Sox.
Right.
This is white socks, like I got on here.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
You want to show those now?
No.
Okay.
I haven't washed them in weeks.
Well, I'm wearing, okay. Never
Okay.
mind.
They're looking, excuse me. They're looking for Ziploc bags, any size.
Right.
So if you got Ziploc bags out there, drop them off at 249 Revere Broadway at the Veteran Service. And they're looking for all kinds of toiletries.
Right. Okay.
Now, before we go into the end of the show, we're going to be talking about a woman that goes around the city of Revere. We're going to have to buy her a new pair of shoes the way she's been walking. She wants to make a monument for the Revere Women's Veterans World War II Memorial. Her name is Eileen Murillo. I believe you would like to write a nice article about her?
Absolutely, yes. It's something that, I'm sure right now the greatest generation that has done so much to keep this country free, and the women now, especially in the news that you're seeing, that they're allowed to participate, to fight in combat. Here it is now. We have to look back, and we have to honor the women that have done so much throughout the history that the country has participated in these wars. And whether it was the women at home that made the bombs and the airplanes, to the women that were in the WACs and the nurses, it's time that there was something exceptional to honor the women that did so much.
Eileen, she worked at Walter Reed Hospital, taking care of the wounded, the mentally disturbed people. Now, I go to the VA hospital once in a while, and all the research that was done for our veterans came out of Walter Reed Hospital. So wherever you're out there, Eileen, thank you. I'd like to mention a few other things, if I may, and then. Beside the Revere Senior Center doing blankets, they do Christmas cards, which they mail for the troops. They take, we're not going to be asking donations till August for packages for the troops over there. What I would like to do before we close this show, Jim, is I had Father Healy from the Soldiers Home come up today at the Senior Center. We had a long discussion. He said he would like to appear on the show. He's 91 years old.
Wow.
And he can't see too good, so he had a fellow by the name of Father John Dodd drive him around, and he brought him in there. So I hope to have him on the show eventually. I want you to go back and say thank you to your dad for all the things he's done for the community of Revere.
Right.
I've spoken to him. I love the chuckles he puts in your newspaper here. I haven't read this one there, but some of them are out of this world. So before we close, is there anything you would like to say? And then I just want to finish up with 1 minute at a time.
Well, I appreciate you having me on as a guest in your show, Veterans Corner. The things that you do, Morris, it's always a treasure for me.
No, it's not
I
Morris,
know,
it's the
I know.
community.
You are the community. You're part of the fabric of this community that does so much for the veterans. No, I'm not. I'm sorry. That's one regret.
No regret.
I wish, I did at that time when I had the chance.
Al Terminello does more for veterans
That's
than
right.
some veterans do for themselves. I'll be honest with you, and I can say that.
And he's an advocate photographer.
Excellent photographer.
He is.
So, Jim, I want to thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
up here.
It was a pleasure and an honor.
Say hello to your father. And to everyone out there, God bless our troops, God bless the city of Revere, and God bless the United States of America, and our audience out there for watching. Thank you.